Fellow Kenyans, I've taken note with deep concern of remarks reported by NTV Kenya, quoting Prime Secretary Mudavadi advising Kenyans, quote, in the escalating Middle East crisis, to pay for their own flight back home. This statement is not only insensitive, it represents a disturbing collapse of leadership. For years, the government of Kenya has celebrated the diaspora whenever remittance numbers are announced. Kenyan workers abroad send billions of shillings home every year, supporting families, stabilizing the Kenya shilling, and sustaining our economy. I wonder why, with this, I cannot hear the Kenyan media television shouting in these screams like the following headlines: government celebrates diaspora remittance but abandons diaspora lives during crisis. Another headline that I should be hearing is that Kenyans abroad deserve protection, not abandonment when conflict threatens their life. The third, similar, I've not heard from media houses that we should be hearing, is that a responsible state evacuates citizens in danger. It does not invoice them. But when the danger strikes, the same government suddenly tells them, you are on your own. Let us be clear, fellow Kenyans. A government that celebrates your money but abandons your life has lost its moral authority and moral legitimacy. Kenyan citizens abroad are not ATMs for a struggling economy. They are human beings whose lives matter. Diaspora remittance cannot be treated as national income, while diaspora lives are treated as personal responsibility. A responsible government evacuates its citizens from danger zones. A responsible government mobilizes diplomatic protection. A responsible government does not outsource the safety of its people to their bank accounts. Instead, this administration continues to demonstrate what Kenyans are increasingly experiencing: a government that is long on rhetorics, but painfully short on responsibility. Leadership is tested in the moment of crisis, and this government has failed that test. Kenyan lives abroad are not disposable. They cannot be celebrated when they send money home and abandoned when calamity strikes. Kenya deserves leadership that protects its citizens, whether they are in Nairobi, Doha, Tel Aviv, Dubai, or anywhere in the world. A government that celebrates diaspora remittance but abandons diaspora lives has lost its main reason of being government. Kenyans abroad are not ATMs for this economy. They are citizens whose lives must matter and must be protected. You cannot bank diaspora dollars in times of prosperity and disappear when those same citizens face war. You cannot have leadership that is that irresponsible. Leadership is tested in crisis, and telling citizens to pay for their own evacuation is not leadership, it is abdication. Yet this same government came with Kazi Maju. The duty of the state is simple: protect Kenyan lives everywhere, not only when Kenyan taxes are needed. Diaspora remittance are treated as national revenue, but diaspora safety is treated as personal problem. That hypocrisy will end with the LDP government. A nation that abandons its citizens abroad weakens the very foundation of its citizens. One of the ways to protect diaspora is very clear on LDP prototype, which we have put together in 12 executive orders that we shall sign in office that will protect diaspora, home and away, their families and relatives. I want to say that as this is ongoing, you go to every media, all MPs and senators are busy really talking nicely how really the Kenyan problem can be solved. And some of them actually are becoming very popular at just discussing the Kenyan problem. But I want to tell you that let us not focus on that. Let's focus on what is important. Restoring governance, meritocracy, and economic direction in Kenya should be our main path. And I want to say that Kenya's current governance crisis is not accidental. It is actually institutional. The constitutional promise of accountability, devolution, and economic transformation has been weakened by failing oversight institutions, politicized enforcement mechanisms, and leadership that prioritizes political survival over national productivity. I want to say that the erosion begins with weakened institutional checks. The Parliament of Kenya has increasingly fallen short in its institutional constitutional duty to rigorously scrutinize public spending, public debts, and executive decisions, like you see the ones where the president can buy 55 million worth of a vehicle, and the government that has spent 10 billion in a very short period of time, actually overpassing the 7.7 billion by budget of State House expenditure. And the State House doing, the Parliament is doing nothing. They're just busy in rallies, in funerals, lecturing Kenyans how our problem can be solved when we go to Singapore. So oversight has too often been procedural rather than actually being consequential. They just do it by procedure. The Centre of Kenya, mandated to protect devolution, has struggled to consistently hold county governments accountable for stalled projects, poor service delivery, and misuse of funds. Meantime, the Anti-Corruption Commission, enforced under Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, has frequently failed to translate any timely convictions or meaningful asset recovery. I want to tell you that since this initiative, EACC has spent 58.5 billion Kenya shillings in its 3.9 billion annual budget, which translates to that money, but they have only recovered 38.5 billion shillings out of what should actually be recovered from corruption, which we have done analysis and found that the money stolen through corruption in Kenya is 6.7 trillion since independence. And that's why LDP, when LDP forms its own government, we are going to disband EACC with immediate effect. That's the executive order number 1 that we'll do. God bless you and God bless Kenya.